Hello, welcome to our VNews broadcast daily and following today's headlines.
President pays state visits to military units. Laos Deputy Prime Minister joins state celebrations with overseas Vietnamese. The government sector must improve its competitiveness and retain strong footholds in traditional markets, as it is forecast to continue facing challenges this year.
President Trương Tấn Sang on February 16th paid state visits to the Saigon Newport Corporation and the command of Army Corps 4.
Meeting with leaders and staff of the corporation, the president praised the corporation's achievements over the past years, which have turned it into one of the leading container ports and logistics service providers in Vietnam. In 2012, the corporation received 4,350 vessels with 46.4 million tons of freight passing through its ports, generating more than 6.3 trillion Vietnam dongs, or over $300 million in revenue, and a profit of 969 million Vietnam dongs. Sang said, in the context of global integration, the corporation should focus on developing technology, improve the quality of its services, and expand production and business activities, contributing to the building of seaports in the country's different regions, especially in Nha Trang and Haiphong. During his visit to the command of the Army Corps 4 in southern Bình Dương province, the state leader said the unit's achievements over the past 38 years have contributed to national construction and defense. As a key mobile army corps of the defense ministry stationed in the southern strategic area, the unit's officers and soldiers should closely coordinate with the local party committee and authorities in political security protection, better mass mobilization work, and enhance their readiness for action, he said.
Laos Deputy Prime Minister Somsavat Langsavat joined the Vietnamese community in Siêng Vang village, Kham Muộn province, central Laos, at a ceremony to celebrate the Lunar New Year on February 15.
Addressing the event, the Laos Deputy Prime Minister said he hopes the Vietnamese community will enhance solidarity to build a prosperous Laos, developing the Laos-Vietnam traditional friendship, special solidarity and comprehensive cooperation. Nguyễn Duy Trung, acting chairman of the Overseas Vietnamese Association in Laos, praised the Vietnamese in Siêng Vang for overcoming difficulties, integrating into the host country, and actively participating in campaigns launched in Vietnam. Siêng Vang village is where President Ho Chi Minh lived and worked in 1929. A memorial dedicated to him was also built to honor his contributions to the country's revolutions, Chung said. Participants at the event had an opportunity to enjoy Vietnamese traditional dishes, music, and dance.
With a population of more than 1 billion, China is a burgeoning market for the tourism sector of neighboring countries, including Vietnam. However, the number of Chinese tourists to Vietnam still falls short of this potential.
Vietnam's tourism sector attaches much importance to China not only because of its huge population, but also for the close location and good transport links between the two countries. In 2011, Vietnam welcomed 6 million foreign visitors, of which more than 1.4 million were Chinese. However, most Chinese visitors stay in Vietnam for a short time and spend modestly. I only found out that Vietnam has many beautiful beaches and abundant tourist attractions through Rosso held in Tansin. But few people from Tansin visit Vietnam because there are little tourist information on the country.
Chinese visitors mainly arrive in Vietnam by land, so they stay for only several days and do not spend much. Vietnam aims to attract wealthier visitors on longer stays.
There are only 2 airlines flying from northern China to Vietnam, so tickets reserved for tours are limited at about 30 on each flight. If we can use other airlines, our guests, we have to change and the cost will be higher. Vietnam does not lack tourism resources compared to Thailand, China, or any nation in the region. But the country has yet to develop a good product development strategy. In order to attract inbound tours to increase foreign currency to the country, more direct air services are needed to tap the potential of such key markets as China, Japan, Thailand, Cambodia, the US, France, and Australia.
The Vietnamese garment sector is forecast to continue facing challenges as the global economic downturn lingers on. In order to earn between 18.5 and 19 billion US dollars, the sector must improve its competitiveness and retain strong footholds in traditional markets.
As part of efforts to hold on to demanding markets like the US, Europe, and Japan, Garment Corporation 10 is seeking more orders. In the current environment, the only way to develop is to cut costs and develop designs. And last but not least, garment firms must improve corporate governance and vocational training while offering reasonable prices in response to more stringent demand. The sector remains weak in the supply of raw materials, design, and raising awareness of its brands. Last year, many Vietnamese textile and garment firms received fewer orders from traditional markets. The Đức Giang Garment Corporation was no exception. In traditional markets, it's important to build a supply, design, production, and distribution chain. The Ministry of Industry and Trade is currently negotiating free trade agreements. Meanwhile, we're looking to enter potential markets like Russia, Belarus, and Kazakhstan. It is estimated that exports to the Middle East and Africa will generate between 30 and 50 million US dollars in revenue a year, a fraction of the expected 17 to 18 billion US dollars total revenue the sector anticipates this year. It's important to retain traditional markets while seeking new ones. The U.S. accounts for 50% of global apparel consumption. If we earn an additional 1 to 2% of market share in the U.S., the Vietnamese garment sector will see remarkable growth. Over the last 3 years, the Vietnamese garment sector has succeeded in developing new markets in the Republic of Korea, Taiwan, and Russia. However, the US, Japan, and Europe remain its key markets.
Among activities welcoming the Lunar New Year nationwide, a traditional boat race in Sơn Tịnh District, the central province of Quảng Ngãi, on February 15th attracted bodies of visitors.
Competitors are divided into 4 teams, which represent 4 different villages in the locality. Each team rows a boat in the shape of a dragon, unicorn, turtle, and phoenix. Held on biennial Cha Hook River on the 5th and 6th day of the Lunar New Year, the event is to pray for prosperity, peace, favorable weather, and a bumper harvest. The same day, thousands of Cơ Tu ethnic people in the mountainous district of Tây Giang in central Quảng Nam province flocked to a gong festival to celebrate the Lunar New Year. The event offered participants a chance to exchange, preserve, and develop their traditional cultural values. Mountainous districts in Quảng Nam are home to nearly 43,000 Cơ Tu people. They deem gongs as a traditional art form played during numerous festivals at their villages. On February 16th, the 7th day of the Lunar New Year, 2 boat races also took place in Tuy An and Tuy Hoa districts in central coastal Phú Yên province.
And that is the end of our news today. Thanks for watching and see you next time.